Well, let's have a chat about dog training, Stooge dogs and socialisation. Although it is canine play, it's actually sparring. It is practicing fighting.
And okay if they do a little bit of this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't let them do too much because that would tip over into something else. With certain dogs, so he'll stand up to it. It doesn't phase him at all. But what will happen is achieving this level of neutrality, despite extreme provocation from other dogs, is not easy. He's going to turn it into something else. So like I would always like the ability, if I see this going on, so we'll show like now, I would go, no! The ability to say no and then get a dog like this to go against its very natural instincts is one of the most useful things. It's far, far harder than training one of these to do protection work. Protection work is pretty limited repertoire generally. Dogs don't need to think very much about what they're doing. They just have these exercises, skills that they've learnt, and they do them, and it's an outlet for the dog's natural aggression. To actually turn a dog like this into a completely different state of mind, it's not as easy as it looks. Anyway, back to the main film you were watching. So you have the capacity to bring it to a conclusion at any point. Then you can afford to allow them to do a little bit of it, but it's never a good idea to people let their dogs do far too much of that.
Yeah.
And then they say they'll say, I'll get calls like this all the time. They'll say, well, you used to play with the dog fine, and then he half killed it one day. Yeah. And it's just one day, one of the dogs has dug just a bit too far, and it switched from sparring to a proper full-on fight. You won't arrive at this level of neutrality and control with any dog without knowing what you're doing. Take a look at this. This is the dog's starting point at 5 months. Right. So just try not to tense up. Yep. The more you frustrate him by tightening the lead, the worse he'll get. Yeah. He's just vocalising just there by the looks of it. It doesn't look like he's doing anything more. So he's settling a bit more now. The important thing, all I want you to do now, because we're obviously assessing him and you, I don't want you doing anything that's going to influence his behaviour negatively. So we just cut the audio. I want you to notice how quiet I am with these dogs. So the white German Shepherd is the dog on the residential training course, and Maverick, the Malinois, is our new Stooge dog. He's still under training here. Now, you wouldn't believe how aggressive this white German Shepherd was, literally a couple of weeks ago. So he's about halfway through his residential training course here. He hated men, So 2 weeks ago, he was extremely aggressive towards me. There's no way he would have tolerated another dog around him, especially a large breed dog like this. But can you still notice how quiet, calm and relaxed the training process is? The responses, the subtle cues, physical, visual, verbal has less to play, lesser part to play with this. The physical touching, it all helps. It all helps. You'll see us explain and illustrate how the owner not just this situation, this is in general with reactive dogs. Usually the behaviour pattern is highly influenced by the owners themselves. They're doing things that are accidentally nurturing, frustrating, or otherwise influencing that behaviour pattern and making it become more normal for the dog, and actually to intensify the initial response. We've already been doing things to lower this dog's reactive behaviour, because when he first came to our gate, he was barking highly aggressively at us, even though he's only sort of 6 months old at this stage. And you are just by frustrating him on the leash. And that's the confident dog. No, what I just tell you? Leave the lead alone.
Okay, I understood. It's just that it's the kind of thing that you don't want him doing to people, so that I presume that you would like to kind of like take him away.
No, I want to see the character of the dog and how confident he is. So I can see the dog's more confident than you are.
Well, I mean, I'm not confident in him not hurting other people.
No, yeah. Like in this situation, I'm sure you're extremely confident in every other situation. So I mean, a dog that's jumping up on a stranger to this level is a confident dog. And the fact that you've come on the train, that shows me he's confident too. So I'm going to ask you a few more questions and things as we're going along.
Yep.
So he's obviously very interested in food. Has he shown any?
Do you mind if I just take this off?
Yeah, take that off. You won't. Yeah. Look, you don't need any of those bags. Take them all off. Leave them by the gate, right by the gate, so that it's impossible to go home without one. The thing I'm going to get you to do now, so that you can't negatively influence him any further, is to just drop that lead.
Should I take it away or just drop it?
No, just drop it. We'll leave it on, but we'll just drop it. Then that way I know you can't start using the lead negatively.
Yeah, to affect him,
Yeah, to affect his behaviour. And so he's immediately become more relaxed, and he's now having a bit of a sniff round and explore. Did you select him when he was about 8 weeks of age?
Yeah.
Sit.
I mean, I visited him and several other puppies.
Right, that's going to be the end of that early part of his situation here with us. You can see basically he's a very good prospect, and in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, this dog could have actually become anything. For us, he's going to become a Stooge Dog, and if all you're interested in watching with a Malinois is a military grade sports type training process, then you might as well tune out now, because we're going to turn him into a well balanced Stooge Dog, which is a completely different training process and a completely different journey. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. It's, for my mind, the training pattern that we're going to do with this dog is the one that most people that own one of these should do. They should steer well clear of the standard training process for one of these, because if you have that dog as a pet, that is counterproductive to having a great, well-balanced pet dog. Anyway, just my opinion. Let me know what you think. So when we're training, some of the things we're doing with this particular dog here, so we're wanting to produce him as a Stooge Dog, so we have to get to the extreme level. But actually, we do train a number of different elements separately. So if we do some elements of training in one compartment, and then we do some other elements of training in another compartment, and we might have several compartments going on all at the same time, and then we bring them together for the whole process eventually. So here we're just running through basic obedience, lead obedience, on a lead in a public place with lots of other things going on. Everything about this dog's training when he's on lead and we're practicing these skills is all about both the dog and myself being calm, quiet and relaxed. You'll see that dog there in the background a moment ago. He'll come back, that one will come back later in the equation. So here we're looking at focus into a toy and simultaneously into me, and then there'll be a dog float by in a moment. You'll see that dog, while we were doing all of this training, at a certain point it came flying back into the picture. I think you saw it earlier on, and it just come whizzing by. At that point I think Maverick wasn't even on the lead, because we might have been doing another compartment of his training, a bit more to do with retrieving, etc. at that stage. So anyway, look, we've popped this down there, and he's desperate, he wants that we wander away. We're creating a lot of focus onto us, he keeps wanting to go back. So there's not a problem with that. So we're just teaching him to focus on something else and simultaneously me when there is something that he's desperate to do. So he desperately wants the toy. You'll see us develop this a little bit further in a few moments. So it's now about patience. We're waiting for him to look. This is a little bit of a send away, so we make sure he's looking the right direction, and then at the right moment we give him permission to go, and at that stage I would have just said yes. So he's back with that toy now. We let him possess it. We don't need to formalise retrieving unnecessarily when we don't need to. Definitely at the early stages we want the dog to be happy and comfortable to bring something back to us. We also want him to learn that he can possess it, and he loves the tuggy game, which this type of dog always does. So we allow that to happen. But we also look at creating some control, and you can see there's a lot of power in this dog. If we wanted to take him off in a different direction, we could have, and actually even to this day, if I changed and I wanted to, so we're going to drop this shortly, or maybe we didn't, but anyway, we could change him into man work at any point we chose. We're looking at creating, so we're using here, so this is where we're getting back onto those compartments. So we've done a lot of drive onto that. He's desperate to have that toy, he really wants that toy. What we're looking at creating here is the ability to focus on me and then go somewhere else. You'll see me do this in a moment. As desperate as he is for the toy, focus on me. I'm going to go for another focus on me in a moment, and then when he does look at me, I'll send him elsewhere. We also are talking about patience here as well. So there, we sent him somewhere else. I might even do another one of those, you'll see in a second. Because if we can't get him to not focus on that toy, when we put a certain type of dog in front of him, as a Stooge dog, we're not going to be able to get him to focus on us when that dog is telling him, do you want to fight? Which he's going to see a lot of that as a Stooge dog. We also do a lot of socializing, so he's quite happily able to mix with dogs of all shapes and sizes and temperaments, and be very relaxed around them. At the same time, if we pop him on the leash here, but he'll do this off leash as well. He'll walk round nice and calm and relaxed, totally focused on me, and he's oblivious to the dogs. We need that level of ability to switch off when he's being stimulated elsewhere. So here we're just doing something as a little game here, little trick. Even Minx has joined in, look. So just a little trick. The ability to focus. He's got all these dogs around and he's totally focused on me, and we're able to do things. The down is one of the most important commands for a Stooge dog, but it's also a very important skill for any pet dog to have. People don't put enough effort into that. So here's one of his first times being used as a Stooge dog properly. So he's helping me challenge this dog and owner, because I can move him just at the right times to create a stimulus and give the owner an opportunity to control their dog. And then we can do it again. So he has no interest in that dog because of the training that we've done, that we got in place. So again, another movement just at the right moment creates a problem for the dog and owner, and they learning how to control that moment. People get hung up on dogs getting pulled on a lead, but the dogs generally do it to themselves. So you might as well own that sensation, and then you can turn it into something useful. So that dog's now focused on it. Right, this is Maverick's first go at being a Stooge dog on an aggressive dog situation. So this dog's quite aggressive at this stage, and if we were to just let it off the lead, I would imagine it would attempt to pile in. So all of the skills we've taught Maverick, the being calm and focused off lead, the laying down, staying still, I can go over and handle this dog. It's all coming into place. It's all happening now. It's all pulling together, all the different skills, and it's how we can use our Stooge dogs to help other owners with their dogs. I mean, if you're interested and you're struggling with your dog, get in touch. We do residential training, but we can also help you on a lesson basis. So I'm not trying to control this dog. This isn't my dog. 40 minutes ago, we'd never even met each other. That's my dog, but 5 months ago, we'd never met each other either. He's now my new Stooge dog. He's doing brilliant.